As far as national neighbors go, you can't really ask for anybody better than Canada. Well, maybe Switzerland. That'd be kind of nice because they make all that great chocolate. But Canada does have delicious syrup, and they invented the bacon that is on top of the Egg McMuffin. And they gave us Michael Bublé. So, Canada, I'm cool with you. However, Canadians now have found themselves in a stranglehold of oppressive, politically correct thinking and strong arms. The real story is what is happening in Canada right now, nobody is paying attention to, and it is heading south across our border. I want to tell you tonight a story of Ezra Levant. 2 years ago, he was a publisher of the now defunct Western Standard magazine. In this magazine, they reprinted those Danish cartoons, remember, of Mohammed with the bomb in his turban? When they did that, a radical Muslim tried to, and failed, thank goodness, to have him arrested for exercising his rights as a journalist. The Imam had Levant hauled in before the Alberta Human Rights Commission, however, and on January 11th, he was grilled by a human rights officer for 90 minutes. This is in Canada, not Nazi Germany. He was finally smart enough to bring a videotape camera with him, and he videotaped the entire proceeding. This guy's pretty sharp. He pulled no punches, telling the officer exactly what he thought of her, the commission, and their right to question him. I want to show you a bit of this clip.
We published those cartoons for the intention and purpose of exercising our inalienable rights as free-born Albertans to publish whatever the hell we want, no matter what the hell you think. The only thing I have to say to the government about why I publish it is because it's my bloody right to do so.
It is too easy to dismiss whatever happens in Canada as being irrelevant here in the United States, especially since some of the same variety of strong-arm tactics are alive and well within the borders of our own progressive movement here in the United States. You might think that commissions and tribunals aren't official arms of the government. But in today's PC universe, they wield their own variety of power that is even more insidious than bad laws enforced by dim-witted politicians. And I know, because I have had my wrist slapped plenty of times and been called to the principal's office over and over again. If we see a progressive president in Congress, get ready, America. You just may wake up in a brand new, brave new world. Unless we watch and learn from our neighbors to the north, we're going to get caught in their slippery slope. Ezra Levant joins me now. Ezra, I have to tell you, your life, you're living right now in some sort of brave new world, or better yet, Orwellian 1984 hell. What is it like?
Well, I think that most Canadians didn't even know these commissions existed until I videotaped it. And when we think of governments hauling publishers or editors or journalists into a room and grilling them about their personal political thoughts, we think of Stalinist Russia or North Korea. We didn't think it would be here in North America. We don't have the same First Amendment strength that you do, but we still have 800 years of a British tradition of free speech. It's eroding in Canada, and Americans should beware too.
But I have to tell you, Ezra, you can print Mein Kampf in Canada, but you've got an imam who is pushing for Sharia law in Canada, and you can't print a cartoon?
Well, you know, that's what's ironic, is that you have a radical fundamentalist imam who's using the secular tax-funded bureaucracy of the government to enforce his fatwa. And if they can come after the Western Standard, they'll come after talk show hosts, they'll come after other books too.
But
so
that's a good book. I don't know if you've read that yet. Who set that up? That's brilliant.
No, I'm serious, though. If they can, it's a strange alliance between domestic politically correct censors with their speech codes and foreign radicals who don't want to have discussion about issues like radical jihad. I think it's a terrible mix, and because the domestic left, which normally stands for free speech and the separation of church and state, because they're too politically correct, they stand silent when it's a question of the separation of mosque and state.
Right, and so you're not getting any support from the Canadian media. I mean, probably lame support from the Canadian media.
You know, the radio talk shows and some opinion columnists have been great, but I've had more press coverage in the United States than in Canada, which is really weird. You'd think a reporter hauled before the government, and I'm still going through the process. I've had to spend tens of thousands of dollars in legals. You'd think that would be news in Canada. I've had more access to American media than in Canada.
I tell you, you guys are following Europe, and And I hope we're not following you. I mean, I know that Mark Stein, another guy who printed America Alone, which is a fascinating book, he's being hauled in front of this same tribunal or commission up in Canada. You guys are in deep, deep trouble if you don't turn this thing around.
You're right. Same thing's happening to him. A radical Muslim who has publicly called for, apologized for terrorist attacks against Jews is hauling him before the Human Rights Court. It happens a little bit in the States with groups like CARE, who are suing talk show hosts like Michael Savage. I mean, it's a censorship attempt on people like you and me who have a different point of view.
Ezra, thank you very much. We will follow your story. Best of luck to you.